Hello everyone, my name is Alex and today we're going to see some coding insights from CurieTech AI. First of all, let's take a look at the single repo code lens to see how it works. So I've been trying out the Mac project and I created this repo. So if you don't see yet my whole README, like really detailed README, let's see what can it know about this. I already set up my repos. If you go here to your settings, you can go here to repositories and you can connect your GitHub. I would recommend you use connect via auth. So once you have that, you will be able to use your own repos. So let's go here in Coding Insights, single repo code lens, and let's start my own. You can also upload from computer. In my case, I'm just going to select the Mac project from here. So let's ask, what is this repo about? And it gave me a bunch of explanations. For example, key features, Agentforce integration. So here you can see the flows that it's implementing in Agentforce. Einstein AI integration. So here are all the flows that I have implemented. Then we have the configuration and setup. We have the Mule configuration and the properties.yaml. We have some documentation like the README. And the off-topic example that I created for you to use in Agentforce. And it also gave me this nice summary table so I can see where everything is set up. Another cool thing is that if you go here in your settings, workspace, and you scroll down, you will be able to see here some coding guidelines. This I have uploaded. So you can upload your own PDF file with the coding guidelines that you want Curie to take a look at. So if we go back here, I can also ask, are there any best practices or security violations I should be taking a look at? And here you can see that it's asking me for a specific flow. So I'm just gonna select this flow and it gave me a bunch of stuff. Use of a hard-coded file path. Yeah, I hard-coded this file path. So yeah, I definitely need to change that one. It even tells you why this is happening, like why it's not recommended and how to fix it. I have a proper use of global configurations, thank you. I have all my global configs in global.xml. I am following the properties management, so yay. I definitely need to secure my properties. I have not used the secure : syntax for this, so yes, I definitely need to do that. I have no error handling. That is true. I have no munit test for this flow, definitely not, so I also need to add my munits. And finally, it's just letting me know, like, you need to review other flows, ensure that secure property is set up, and some other stuff that I need to review. So that was the single repo code lens in the code insights. I will leave the multi-repo code lens by the end, so let's do the code review lens now. So I created this pull request where I am definitely not just following best practices. So for example, here you can see that I have my port and my host that are hard-coded here instead of in the properties. And I just changed like from 8081 to 8082. And I am also exposing some test Salesforce credentials. These do not exist. So let's take these. Let's head to the code review lens. Let's select the test in the branch. So ask a question and we can also edit the guidelines here. Let's just say review this PR. And yeah, it definitely told me the things. So review finding security issues, remove hard-coded credentials and use secure property placeholder, Salesforce username and password, definitely. Then we have the create a global.xml file with configuration properties. Yes. Update the HTTP listener configuration. Yes. Add to dev properties YAML. Yes. Missing proper configuration properties. Yes, because I have no properties at all. Missing configuration properties module. Yes, because I have no properties at all. So yes, it definitely was able to find everything. Now, the third and final way to use this is the multi-repo code lens. So for those of you that don't know what Anypoint Race or Anypoint Speedway is, Ryan Heck, someone in the community, created this integration challenge where you can create your own Anypoint race or stuff to racing the speedway. Anyway, for season 1 and 2, I believe I had to create 2 different repos. So this is the whole diagram of how everything works, but in summary, I have this, that is the race client, which is this repo, and I have this other, which is the racer API, which is this repo. So I'm gonna take those 2 repos and feed them into Curie to see what it does. So in multi-repo code lens, let's select the branch main. Select the repos, so Anypoint Racer API and Anypoint Race API MuleSoft. Ask a question. Can you tell me how these repos work together? And if we take a closer look at the diagram, they never actually talk to each other, because the race client is talking to the Anypoint Race API, which was managed by Ryan. And this one is orchestrating and managing all of the calls to both of these projects. But what it has in common is this token queue. Because every time that the Racer API would create a token, it would publish the token to the token queue, and then the race client would consume the token from the token queue. So this queue in theory is the same. But because we don't have the Anypoint Race API from Ryan, we cannot really see all of these connections, I think. And here we have it. So the Anypoint Racer API is a message publishing. Yes, as we saw, this is the message publishing. And we can see here where this is implemented and how this is being published. The queue destination is defined by the property Anypoint MQQ, and the MQ configuration is in global. Then we have the Anypoint Race API MuleSoft, which is this race client, consumes messages from the same Anypoint MQQ. This is implemented here. As we can see, here's the subscriber. The subscriber listens to the same queue, Anypoint MQQ, and processes incoming messages, triggering further actions such as HTTP requests and logging. So again, summary table, the Racer API is the Anypoint MQ publish, and the Race API MuleSoft is the Anypoint MQ subscriber. That is really cool. So yeah, in summary, if you go to the Code Insights part, you have the single repo code lens where you can simply just get a repo or your project and ask any questions that you may have, like how does this work? Or I don't know if it's following best practices, if there are any security violations, if you're having, for example, a bug and you need to figure out why is this bug happening, you can ask any kind of question regarding a single repo. Or you can even ask if your DataWeave code is being efficient, or if there's a way that you can rewrite it so it is better. Then we saw the code review lens, where you can actually go and tell it to review a pull request from the repo that you provided. Also, as we saw, you can upload your own file to follow best practices, or to follow naming conventions, or whatever you want to give it, kind of like the rules file that I had created for Cursor. You can also take a look hey, is this PR gonna inject a bug or something? And you can check for the main code to make sure that it's still working as expected. And finally, we saw the multi-repo code lens. I used it with some of the projects that I had that are actually connecting through a queue. So they're not even connected like an HTTP or doing some sort of exchange experience, process, and system layers. I feel like this is actually more complex because it wouldn't know that it's connecting to the same place through a queue. So I thought this was a really nice use case to see it in action, and it actually worked. And using this multi-repo code lens, you can also see the overall architecture of how your projects are being set up, how is it working. If you had experience, process, and system layers, you could ask it how are these functioning? Maybe you can give me a diagram of some sort. So yeah, that is how you can use the Code Insights. So far, in the last videos that I've done about CurieTech, we have been seeing the coding agents, we saw the DataWeave generator, the code enhancer, and then we saw in testing, we saw the MUnit generator. We haven't seen any of the documentation agents, but we have now seen all of the coding insights or code insights. We have also not seen the migration agents. So let me know in the comments below what other agent from CurieTech should I test next. All right, that is all for this video. Again, let me know what you think. If you want me to do some specific experiment, I'm here for you. I am all up for it. Or let me know if you have some other tool that you want me to try out. But so far, Curie is definitely earning the #1 prize for MuleSoft development. All right, see you in the next video. Bye!